Yo, what's up my brothers? This is Enemy Stand User here. I hope you guys are doing well. Today's chapter had some incredibly deep reveals and some insanely detailed strategies Kenjaku has set in place to truly incite chaos in the world. The international plays are crazy right now. Gege locked in this chapter to give us some heavy JJK politics and world building. The focus of the influence of cursed energy is something that I've been theorizing ever since chapter 167 when Kenjaku extended his attention to international powers, and now it's looking like his plan is coming into fruition. So let's not waste any time and go over the chapter with part 1, direct negotiations of the big chapter 200 chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's go my brothers. Alright, this amazing chapter picks off where we left off as Sukuna privately reveals he is the Fallen, or that disgraced one. But immediately after revealing that to Yuji, we just snap back to reality with this new info. So instead of this chapter going into Sukuna's backstory or relationship with Angel, we have to contend with Yuji's conflict of survival with this new piece of information. And actually I like the direction now because, as we'll see later, the Culling Games has entered an entirely new evolution. But at the beginning of this chapter, Yuji now knows he and Sukuna are the Fallen, and thus is a target to Angel, a sworn enemy at that. So initially this actually comes off rather funny and lightens the mood, because Yuji is doing a terrible job at keeping the secret as he acts as sus as possible, trying to be subtle in his own Yuji way. So he tries to act weird and get Megumi's attention to kind of use his body language and tell Megumi that Sukuna is the Fallen. And this is just weird for everybody, but Megumi is smart enough to figure it out, and he puts 2 and 2 together, realizing the weight of Yuji and Sukuna's life being in danger. So now they have a new problem because Angel's help is indispensable and now they're conflicted. But while Megumi is thinking about this, Yuji thinks back to why Sukuna took the trouble to make sure he kept his mouth shut about it. So Yuji surmises that it must be that the Angel has some sort of ability that can permanently annihilate Sukuna without room for resurrection. The Angel has the real potential to slay the demon Sukuna, given that she can purge incarnations from vessels, likely killing both of them in the process, implying everything is exterminated from the sorcerer, even fragments of their soul possibly. But right now, Sukuna may have told Yuji, knowing that he doesn't have the nerve to take his own life by exposing himself. But now that the sorcerers have enough points and his allies like Megumi are relatively okay, if there's even a chance to solve all of this mess with Yuji's death, then Yuji will gladly die. Remember that Yuji still has that cog mentality. He is and has accepted to be a tool for the Jujutsu sorcerers. So there may be some conflict, but when push comes to shove, it's pretty much a no-brainer for Yuji to sacrifice himself. But things quickly change as the Angel breaks all the tension, revealing that all of a sudden, numerous players have entered the colony. And to everyone's surprise, when the Kogane is pulled up, we see the number of new players. Over 807 and counting are entering the colony. All players who willingly entered this death game. And now finally it's been revealed what Kenjaku has been up to. From February 2018, almost 9 months in advance, Kenjaku is informing the world's superpowers and head political leaders from different nations to listen to Kenjaku's proposal. This galaxy brain Kenjaku is instigating countries and advertising Jujutsu to these different nations, explaining and endorsing cursed energy, cursed spirits, sorcerers, all of it. The hidden knowledge of sorcerers kept secret for millennia is now being pitched and endorsed like some new weapon for humanity. And you can really pick up the vibe here. Urume is here to assist the guests, ease their minds, and explain the product. And Kenjaku is promoting Jujutsu and explaining cursed energy to non-sorcerers, even offering examples like cursed tool glasses that allow humans to see the world of the supernatural. And even a prepared movie basically using Mechamaru's puppet footage as an advertisement for the potential of cursed energy, as Mechamaru has seen everything and all the major events with Jujutsu till Shibuya's fall, and it's used all for the prospect of investors basically. These political leaders have a chance to invest in cursed energy, this world of the future. What really strikes my interest is that Kenjaku is addressing multiple countries in these initial panels. Like, we can see all the world leaders, but of course there are sequences like meeting with the executive US branch in that private meeting. That was a whole nother scene that happened, which likely occurred well after February based on Kenjaku's prepared movie from Mechamaru's footage. So the US meeting could have been sometime after the Goodwill event, maybe like in September or October, and that would tell us Kenjaku met with many of the world powers of the Middle East over the course of many months. And you might be able to see it, but in his newest interaction with the meeting with the US, we're actually in the Oval Office with the President of the United States. But what really struck me with this US meeting is that the US Assistant, the Secretary of Energy, Cyrus Vale, he draws the most attention. He's more keen and level-headed as a human in the room, and he sees the potential in this new cursed energy development for the United States to stay ahead of the rest of the world. Cyrus sees cursed energy as the cleanest form of energy in all of human history, something that could replace fossil fuels and even renewable energy. Cyrus finds even Gojo especially powerful because him as a resource could power the whole country itself, since we know Gojo has infinite cursed energy with the Six Eyes. Now, using Gojo as a battery, that's pretty deplorable, but this is something the US wants to hop on immediately. And it's so incredibly dark and twisted, just seeing the hard work, the suffering, the blood, the struggle sorcerers went through, and it's used like some endorsement tool by Kenjaku. This is basically like a pitch meeting to future investors of cursed energy, and Kenjaku told them everything, including the date in which they should make their move. He is inciting these countries to get involved in the coin game, and better yet, Kenjaku is implying that a country like the US kidnap Japanese sorcerers and research cursed energy using the president's authority. So wow, yeah, things are being unveiled on November 14th. Hundreds, if not more, likely foreign players have invaded Japan. Hundreds. For all we know, this could be a military invasion, a war for cursed energy. And this was actually foreshadowed in chapter 136. If you remember, Yuki discussed how a certain superpower in the Middle East would not remain silent, and the higher-ups were concerned about foreign military intervention in chapter 137. And now we have Kenjaku, who decided to play politics, so he very well may have just started a war for cursed energy with humans as that energy source, as that resource. Curses, humans, sorcerers, all battling for survival in a cursed crucible, a death match. And this is the outcome that Yuki Tsukumo feared. This could even be the event, or this invasion could be part of the bomb, which was foreshadowed in chapter 167. Because this many players is a really big spectacle, especially if they are all aligned together or start multiple fights between nations in different colonies. Now that, on top of the bloodied battles of sorcerers, is just utter chaos, just chaos. Gege is absolutely plotting right now because this has to be something much bigger than Japan now that world powers have been brought into this mess. Everyone's gonna want cursed energy for their benefit, and this makes me think that the JJK Foundation itself and Tengen is really in deep shit, the deepest of shit, because there's still the problem of how to harness and optimize cursed energy, and Tengen is the sorcerer who has established barriers in Japan and optimizes cursed energy within Japan, only having some exceptions overseas with curses and sorcerers appearing like Miguel's African tribe of sorcerers overseas. So if you really want to use cursed energy, you would need to optimize it. If you want to use it on a wide scale, like a country level thing, you would probably need your own version of Tengen, which Tengen is mostly responsible and known as the greatest and strongest barrier user. But with this foreign intervention, the countries have to have some kind of goal in mind on how to harness this energy and power. Like say Kenjaku leaks Tengen's location and wants a human to merge with Tengen, causing irreversible chaos, or the complete eradication of Tengen's barriers in Japan, so cursed energy is no longer under Japan's jurisdiction, which again causes chaos because there is no one to keep the cursed energy in check and optimize, and the world would fall under the influence of true shamans and curses. I really can't say or can't tell what would happen then. Japan has a virtual monopoly on cursed energy, so they would reap the power from this energy, and the Jujutsu Foundation itself makes sure that power is kept in line. However, just look at where we're at now. Bruh, the society is literally Kenjaku's plaything basically. He has complete authority over the higher ups, and now he's got everyone about to fight each other once more. Jujutsu is changing right now. Jujutsu is evolving right now. Kenjaku knew if world powers intervened, there's almost nothing that could be done to stop this motion. Japan is falling, the society is falling, and Jujutsu is evolving. Kenjaku is about to realize his world of the future. So what will our sorcerers do? With all this chaos taking place and happening, it really feels like something has to give or change with our squads of sorcerers. Maybe the rules they're going to add could help manage the chaos, but there is just too much pressure and movement between different factions. Kenjaku is instigating a cursed energy takeover. Ancient sorcerers and modern players are probably still killing each other. Curses are rampaging. Sukuna's plotting, Kenjaku's plotting. Man, even Angel and Tengen are definitely up to something. There's a lot of moving parts. So hopefully with the next stage of this arc, we just see how our sorcerers react to this calling game invasion. So hopefully someone like Yuki Tsukumo has something in place or something in motion, because honestly, she was the first person to suggest something like this could happen. She was right on the money for how the world would respond. So maybe she does have some contingency now that she does work with curse users and has some third-party group in action. Before I end it though, I really wanted to point out how incredible it is for Gege to drop something like this, because it's been vaguely touched on how Kenjaku was involved with foreign affairs, but something to this scale to incite conflict over cursed energy itself is genius. And I love how naturally everything is flowing together with the world of non-sorcerers and the world of Jujutsu meshing together, causing immeasurable chaos. This really feels like Kenjaku's world of the future, as everyone wants to use cursed energy. And I don't know about y'all, but the military clashing with sorcerers sounds like some of the coolest battles yet, especially if these new players use modern cursed tools and weapons and equipment and tactics like Shikigami and things like that. That is some of the illest headcanon I got right now. And of course, it's all just a thought, but these countries had months to prepare, so there's a slight chance they already have some motion in mind. It's some pretty wild thoughts right now. And man, Gege got our minds rolling with these last chapters. 1 minute, we're thinking of Sukuna's ancient creed and his godhood and fall from grace and history. And next, we're thinking about World War III for cursed energy. Gege showing us why he's one of the best at what he does. Just non-stop hype. Thank you awesome brothers for watching this video. Please like and sub for more JJK content in the future. And I'll see you awesome guys in the next one. Bye-bye.